Welcome to another episode. Welcome to another episode of Inspired Content, where I will be offering up creative prompts inspired by Incredibles 2, the movie, not something else that may have that same name. So, with that in mind, you should see the other video if you want to see my rate and review of it. But for now, let's pull up the list and see. Idea number 1. Okay, just because Jack's my favorite thing ever in this movie, I want to see a superhero baby daycare. Just a bunch of super babies going wild, and whoever, like, maybe not a daycare, maybe like a babysitter. But I think in the first movie they had that, the babysitter struggling with Jack. I really kind of want to see either a bunch of short stories or some movie shorts or animated shorts that are specifically like a character who starts out just trying it out, but grows to specialize in daycare for super babies. I think that would be a fun. Just take that first movie's babysitter bit, extend it further with more babies, and expand further into Edna mode, visiting with Jack, and expand it a little bit further into somebody becoming sort of like a costumed hero babysitter. So like the babysitter becomes a hero whose power is to babysit baby heroes. I think that would be fun. I think it's best fit to like a graphic novel or animation, but I'd read it too if it were a decent enough story. Number 2. Okay, a superhero who mind controls villains to become heroes. This would be interesting. It's sort of a flip on what happens in the movie. I'd be really interested in seeing, like, how could you play that? Like, the idea of mind controlling somebody to do good with their powers is wrong. But it's so tempting to see somebody else with powers that could benefit the world who would otherwise be doing evil with those powers and make them do good. It's such a temptation that I feel like that story, that conflict of mind controlling somebody for good, it's such a conflict that I feel like it would make a really good story. Number 3. I like the idea of a character whose powers are different every time they try to use them. Just the sort of of course they're gonna never be reliable or useful. Of course. Just doing that to a character could make a good character and a good story. And so I sort of feel like the mechanism for writing this story would be to pull out a 6-sided or a 12-sided die and just have a list of powers, and you roll it when you come to a scene or a conflict where the character is going to use their powers, and whatever number comes up, you go to your list, and that's what they're doing right now. It's just like, oh, I don't know what my power is going to be for this round. Let's see what we can do with it. Now, would that be something like every time they are in a fight, they get one power for the whole fight? Or is it literally in that fight, you blast somebody with your laser eyes, and then the next thing you get is like levitating something with your mind, the next use of power you have? That would be mind-boggling. You'd have to have some kind of indicator when the power is shifted and what you're stuck using that time. And is there a time limit, or is it just per application is different? I don't know. I kind of like the idea of like a wild card power. All right, and then 4. I want to see a story of a character who does the design of like the utility belts, the masks, the radios, the supercars. Like, who is that person? And like the character of Edna Mode is the typical fashion designer character type in the role of designing the costumes for the Incredibles. But she does, as far as I know, she doesn't design their cars or their houses or any of the other stuff. I kind of want to see the person or persons who design all these things and sort of like the world of that setting. Like, you know, the person who does the costumes is networking with the person who does the cars, and they're competing against the other team who does it for other heroes. And just that kind of like, don't ever show the heroes, just show these people figuring out a design problem that they need to resolve and working their way through this stuff and overcoming hurdles in their process. I'd be curious to see that. I think that would be an interesting behind the scenes in the world of supers kind of thing. 5. I can't believe I even wrote this one down, but okay. I wrote this down because it kind of amuses me. I want, what did I call it? Supercar, the memoirs. Like, it's an intelligent AI controlled car. I want that, like a behind the scenes story, as almost like the memoirs of a supercar story written, or a super boat, or an invisible plane, or however you want to call it. I want some AI powered super gadgety vehicle house plane thing telling the tell-all story of what it's like to be in the superheroes world as a intelligent object. I mean, for the same token, you could do something in a fantasy setting where it's the memoirs of a hero from the perspective of a singing sword in a fantasy setting. So it's just like the different point of view and perspective has got to be fascinating. Okay, and number 6. This is sort of based off of the character of Void in the movie, where she first encounters Elastigirl as they're, you know, showing up as the next generation of heroes. You have Void there, and she's like, "Oh, I'm such a big fan. You don't realize how much I was like embarrassed and uncomfortable with my abilities until you were such a role model. You inspired me to become what I'm becoming now." And that's cute. That's nice. I kind of want to see this story from the perspective of somebody like that in a world where heroes are still gone. Like, you're a young, empowered person. You have abilities and powers, but the world has said those people are not allowed to do anything. And you having these powers, this thing that separates you from everybody else, but you're prevented from doing any good with it. And so it just becomes this weird thing that makes you different, but offers you no bonuses. And it might be your life purpose to help people with that power, but you're not allowed to. Like, what kind of story would that be? Coming to grips with the gift that you have, you're not allowed to ever use. That would be, you could, like the way I'm thinking of it, that would be kind of crushing. Like the idea of being heroically powerful, but being denied the chance to ever do any good with it would be a dark, heartbreaking story. And in that story, does that person just snap and refuse not to do good, even if it means that they get put away or killed because of it? Anyway, those are the story ideas I came up with, inspired by Incredibles 2. Keep wanting to say inspired content 2, which is not what it is. It's Incredibles 2. So those are the ideas I came up with that. Hopefully something in there is interesting or useful or inspires your own idea. If it does, please share it with us. I look forward to hearing about all the creative things people are making with these ideas. For now, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.